Hi, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, my name is Jazmine Gittens. I am the co-founder of IncreaseYourReach.com, and we help small business owners and entrepreneurs grow their business by leveraging other people's audience and growing online communities. And today I want to share with you how we make money by speaking on podcasts. So this is one of the strategies of leveraging other people's audience. And one question that we get a lot is who can actually be on podcasts? Who can speak on podcasts? And the answer is anybody can speak on podcasts as long as you are an expert or highly experienced in a specific space where you can actually help someone get from point A to point B. Then you can speak on podcasts. So, how exactly do you make money just speaking on podcasts? The first thing is you want to actually pitch podcasts, right? But you wanted to make sure, or we like to make sure, that we are pitching niche podcasts. So podcasts where we know our target audience is listening. It's very, very targeted to specifically who we are looking to target and who we are looking to service as clients. So that is really, really critical because sometimes we get excited about just the opportunity to speak on a podcast when we are talking about making money from speaking on podcasts. It is critical that you are sure that your target audience is tuned in, listening to, or watching this specific podcast. And you can go from a range of small podcasts to large podcasts as long as the audience that is tuned in, subscribed, and actively listening and engaged is your target audience. So that's the first thing, is making sure that it is a niche podcast targeted to your specific audience, and just start pitching yourself to them. And it's a lot simpler than we think, right? So it's not this big to do. You literally are just reaching out to these podcast hosts, sharing the value that you can add to their community. So pitching podcasts. The second way to do this, to actually make money from this. So you want to get on the podcast, but when you get on, you want to make sure you are delivering value. This sounds like a no-brainer, but sometimes we get on there, we just start babbling, or we're just so excited to be on there. We're just having general conversation with the host. We want to make sure that we have a clear message, a clear presentation. You are helping people shift their mindsets and be able to see how they can achieve something, right, pertaining to what you offer. So you want to address, first of all, know and address your audience's fears, frustrations, and desires in your presentation when you're actually on the podcast. So prepare before the podcast, practice before the podcast. Obviously, once you get on there, the host is going to ask you certain questions, and it's not going to be like a webinar where you're just speaking solely by yourself. You're having a conversation, but have those talking points so that when it is time for you to speak, you are actually delivering value, a clear, concise presentation or message. And you want to make sure you actually promote. I cannot tell you how many times we've seen people go on podcasts and forget to promote their service, to promote what they have to offer. You're just there and you're just talking, and it's like, oh my God, I forgot to tell them to follow me or to whatever it is that you offer. Actually offer your service, or offer what we're going into, which is actually the next step, which is what you need to do before any of this. You want to create a funnel first. You want to have a funnel to capture their audience. So once you get in front of them, you want a way to capture their audience, to turn them into your audience, get them into your stratosphere, and then a way to convert them from your audience to actual paid clients. You want an actual funnel. So when you go on the podcast and you're promoting, you know what you're promoting. Are you going to promote for them to download a free guide, download a free resource where they put in their email and their information in order to get that free download? Are you going to tell them to follow you? And when they follow you, you have a DM campaign already set up. So you getting them to set up appointments with you through your DMs, right? What is your funnel going to look like to get them, one, from their audience to your audience, right? And then from your audience to becoming your paid clients. So you want to have a funnel set up first. Then you want to start pitching podcasts that are niche to your target audience. And once you get on, you want to make sure you deliver value to the audience and promote your service.